Hi, my name is Kalen Arreola, and I am here standing in for Bob Calvert from talkingwithheroes.us. We are here at the R4 Alliance 2016 conference, hashtag R42016, if you want to keep track of all the videos and discussions that are being posted about the conference. We are here with Matt from 10 Can. He's the founder of an awesome nonprofit that does quite a few different things with veterans, families of veterans, outdoor related. So tell us what you do and how long you've been part of the Alliance and all of that.
Thank you. As you said, my name is Matthew Burke. I founded an organization called 10 Can Incorporated. We're a Christian adventure network, and the idea is to reach into the heart of all the veterans and what is most important, and that is family. To rebuild the bonds that may have been lost during combat, because there is a gap that is created whenever we go to combat. And we do that through outdoor recreational therapy, adventures, and we work with the five senses, and we add a sixth sense, which is an emotional attachment to that adventure. And what happens is not only are we developing adolescents, but we're healing veterans, and in turn, we're providing a true holistic approach, and that is the mind, body, and spirit. Very few folks are actually reaching into that territory, but it's critical that we reach into individuals' spiritual wellness, because when it comes to war, a lot of moral wounds are created when you have to take a life, or you see someone's life be taken in front of you, or if you're wounded and you're able to come back from that. You know, in my venture in adaptive sports, I won a gold and silver medal in the Invictus Games, the inaugural Invictus Games in London in 2014. And I learned from a guy named John Register. He's kind of the grandfather of military Paralympics. And that is that I should focus on what I can do and not what I can't do. That right there is a core of all that R4 Alliance does. It is to help veterans learn the new norm. We want veterans to warrior up and become more than that new norm. We want them to reintegrate, and we want them to plug in, not just benefit from R4 Alliance, but plug into R4 Alliance and become members, volunteer members, and effective, productive members of this phenomenal wave of outdoor recreational therapy.
So why did you choose outdoor recreational? Is that something you grew up doing? Is it part of kind of who you are as a person?
Brilliant question. So one of the things that we work on, one of our theories is that, say you got a tree, a bush. I have a green thumb. One of the things that we do is called Operation Farm to Health, and that is horticulture therapy. And what that does, we use the centric idea that if a fruit tree gets bruising and a limb needs to be cut off, we focus back on the root of that plant to strengthen it. And as a child growing up on a farm and growing up in the outdoors, I had to survive. I had to live off the land because we grew up in poverty. So I learned how to live off the land. That is my roots. That's where I come from. The five senses: my sight, the sound, the smell, the silence of wilderness. It all provides that rehabilitation for me, and to get back to your roots is vital. Is a vital part of what R4 Alliance is all about.
That is awesome, and I totally agree, especially on the part about spirituality and probably identity. Like if you're going back to your roots, knowing who you are really as a person. So I think sometimes in the military we become kind of the military. It almost becomes our identity, not completely, but you know what I mean. You kind of lose where you came from a little. Does that also have to do with the name 10 Can and where that came from?
Yes, it does. So the 10 represents our fundamental principles in the 10 Commandments, the Bible, but it also represents the 10-year-old can accomplish anything that we allow them to. As parents, we have a tendency of holding back our kids. Well, to see my kid as a parent And what was most helpful in my rehabilitation during outdoor recreational therapy is to see my 10-year-old go out and harvest a deer at 400 yards. She shot this deer, and I give thanks to Safari Club International for helping her achieve that. But a 10-year-old can accomplish a lot of things. They can be productive members of society. We just got to quit holding them back. Not all kids are the same. Some develop a little bit later in life, but the fact of the matter is that if we don't step in now and create this rite of passage, this movement, this line in the sand saying this is when I became more mature, I began taking responsibility. If we don't do that, then we'll continue in the social inadequacy that we currently have, and emerging adults are taking up to 30 years old to become responsible members of society. And to get back a little bit about kind of our Warrior Up philosophy, there's a lot of programs, great programs that do very touchy, sensitive kind of stuff that I think is very effective for certain individuals. But for me, I have a warrior ethos, and what helps me the most is to go to kind of break things, to kill things, to be manly, just to be manly. I'm a warrior, and what I want to do is not yoga. I don't want to do yoga. I want to go out there and kung fu chop something, and hunt this big game down. I'm macho. Let me be macho. That's who I am. And so that's kind of what we do. We hunt, we fish, and we survive.
That is awesome. But those are good skills. I mean, people totally underestimate because they can go to the grocery store, right? But
Yes.
I still think it's so good what you do, the skills you teach, and then using it as therapy. I mean, the whole family can get involved in something like that. So
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for what you do and being part of the Alliance, being a huge cheerleader for the Alliance as well. You're always doing great work. So I want to thank you so much and ask you, did you want to do a shout out to the troops?
I do. Every year, the first weekend of March, we do a Wilderness Survival Challenge. It's actually a race. It's called Survival Race for Heroes. And this gives citizens, civilians, the opportunity to embrace the suck, to say thank you for what you do over in deployed environments. So I enjoy embracing the suck. It reminds me of the camaraderie. It reminds me of the fight that you guys are in every day. And I get to sleep in my bed 360 days a year. Other days I'm out in a cot on the ground or whatever the case is. But this survival race, this 2-day race, gives everyone the opportunity to say, thank you. Thank you for what you do. Stay safe. God bless.
Thank you so much. This is Kalen Arreola standing in for Bob Calvert for talkingwithheroes.us. You can find all of our new videos on there. You can also visit talkingwithheroes.com for additional information, and definitely follow for conference specific information, #R4 2016.